Good late morning. Actually, it's almost noontime here. I got my Sunday best on today. I put it over the top of my regular shirt. So it's a breezy day today. I don't know what the temperature is, but I would say it's probably in the upper 40s right now. And I'm going to start working on a project that I've been putting off for a while, and that is the wooden cabinet for the air-o-ear radio. It's not too bad. It's breezy. If it wasn't for the wind, it'd be nice, but so you're going to hear a lot of wind noise. Yeah, so you're going to hear a lot of wind noise, but the main thing is you'll see me building this thing. What I have to do first, of course, is I have to get out some cardboard and put down here like I did last time, because this is muddy and it'll be tracked into the house. You know, I got like these cleats on the shoes, so it's going to be tracked into the house. So I'll put some cardboard down. We'll get the extension cord out here, and we will get the chop saw out here, and we'll get these little strips that I bought. I bought some what they call half round, I believe. Half inch, I think that's what this is. This will be used for part of the trim on the cabinet when I make it. And then I bought two of these. These I think are half inch also. Half inch square, 36 inches long. And I got two of these, and these are going to be made to join the back and the sides to the top. In other words, make the box that's going to go around and sit on top of the 3/4 inch plywood, and I will show you that in the shop. Okay, I want to show you. I got to go out and get one of the trims. We're flushing this out over here. I just dropped this on there for now, but we flushed this out. We flushed this out and cut this here. The width of this piece, this is left over from this. I had Home Depot cut the wood to the size I need, and these were the leftovers, because I always take the leftovers, otherwise they will toss them out. Whenever you have plywood cut or anything, always take the leftovers, because this Home Depot throws plywood out. They will not sell scraps. So I think it's a shame. Anyways, let me show you what I plan to do with that piece of trim that I showed you in the back of the car. Alright, essentially what I want to do is to glue this down, not over here. This piece is, this one here I think is 4 feet long. I'm going to have to cut. I wanted to have the piece come right up to the end here, but it's not going to happen because the knobs are in the way. And the way I got this sitting, I'm going to actually have to cut this. And what I'll do first is I'll cut this wood to the full length of the radio. So let me do that now. I'll do that with a handsaw and come back on this video. I want to try to get this thing to fit in here, and it's very awkward because this piece is way too long. And I'm not going to, I got small brads that I can nail this on here, but I also got tight bond wood glue, and I will glue this piece on here. So let me come back on this after I cut this. And I hope I'm in focus here. I'm only about 3 inches away here. See the dial glass here, the plastic? It comes to the end of the quarter. I guess they call it quarter round, half inch, quarter round, I think is what they call it. I don't know. I pulled it out of the bin. they had 10-foot sections or 8-foot sections, and they sell it by the foot, and they won't cut it, but they did have these shorter pieces. So what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to worry about putting iron-on veneer edging like I did in the entertainment center back in the 90s, because there are no videos on that, because I didn't have video. I had video cameras back then, 8mm I believe, but there's no videos on it. So it's going to be glued here. You need this to be sitting like this. The problem is on this side the plastic is broken off. You could probably see it. Maybe if I give you some magnifiers here. I don't know, but the problem is, see where the on-off volume control label is? In other words, on-off volume. Look to the shaft of the volume control and you'll see the edge of the plastic. So it is broken off at that point. So that is a little bit of a problem. The plastic is good here, up to here. So what I think I'll do, because this is kind of like interfering with the knob. The knob is resting on it. The chassis is resting right on the plywood fine. It's not being held up by the knobs. But nonetheless, having it out here in this area serves no purpose. So I might as well cut right here. Let me just make sure the pen point isn't out. I might as well cut here and cut here, even though I got a good plastic coming right to the end here, to keep it even. Although I could, and I got a rat tail file that'll do the job, I could round this out, which I might just do here. In other words, not file it all the way down to the base, but maybe halfway down, so that the tuning knob, which right now is rubbing on this, and I think that would be the option. Leave this out here and leave this out here and round it down here, even though I got this big gap here because there's no plastic here. No other way to do it. Now, I think that's what I'm going to do. Now, here is a piece of 1/4-inch Luan that was off of the air conditioner in the window, because I use metal instead of this. So I save everything. No, it's not cardboard there, Doug. Alright, this is the wrong end. This is the part we want. It's square. I just rough cut this on the table saw when I did that job. So, alright, so what we're doing is we're going to put the sides like this. And I'm undecided whether I want to make the sides come out to the flush of this plywood, or backstep it. But there's a little, this is square right here. This part here is square. But there's a slight slope to this panel to the back. So if I come flush with this here at the bottom, I'm going to be off a little bit here. So what I think I will do, No, I took a shower. I stink. I will make the sides. This is only a test now. This is not the piece I'm using. I got pieces that are wide enough to go right to the back. I think we'll make the sides this way. Now, the radio has to come out the back. The radio will have to slide out of this cabinet that way. Okay, not the front, because this is going to stop it from coming out the front. This is needed here, because if I don't have this here, take that out of here, this is what I got to deal with. Okay? And unfortunately, it is broken off right here. So what I got to do is to glue this on this base plate after I cut the length. And maybe I'll drill real tiny holes and put 3 nails, one here, one here, and one here. Actually, this is going to be like a trim, so if I can get away with just gluing it, which means I'm going to have to wait for things to dry, I won't have to nail it at all. But anyways, this will go on. This, like I say, has to be here. Otherwise, you got this eyesore right here and all these unsightly cracks and stuff that you can see there. So, I've been kicking this idea around for a while now in my old broken down brain of mine as to how I'm going to do this. This is a dilemma right here, and I don't know what I can put here. I don't have any plastic like that. Another problem I have here is this plywood is cut at a perfect 90-degree angle on a table saw at Home Depot. If you can feel, at least I can feel, the plywood is laying on here. And it wants to sit this way. But look at the damn gap you got here. So, if I make the pieces coming flush out like that, I can take another piece of this where my thumb is pointing and lay it in here to cover that up. Okay, and glue it in. The question is, will it fit right in here? It might not, and it might interfere with this. So I may have to look for something even smaller than this, which is 1/2 inch according to the listing, to go in here and to go in here after I cut this off to length. Okay? So the cabinet will have a little overhang on the left and right side and on the top. Okay? Here, there is no problem up here with adding this type of trim on the outside right here and ending here. But if I go down further, I'm going to be covering up the volume control on and off label that's on here. So, this side, this is a problem. So I might have to scrap the idea of using this. This stuff is cheap. It was like, I don't know, a couple bucks or even, not even that much. For those 3 pieces I showed you in the back of the car, it was only 5 and change, so no big deal. But this has to be down here on the bottom. And something's going to have to be put in here, or maybe just left that way, I don't know. There's a lot of planning on this, and I really should have did this before getting the tripod out and stuff like that on the outside. But I need to cut this wood. So that's the first thing I have to do, because I need to put the side that I'm going to cut, which I've got the big pieces in the other shed. I need to have the plywood tacked and glued on the edges when this is cut over here, so that it'll be side, a top, and a back, and another side and a back, which will have ventilation holes drilled. So we got to drill some holes again on it. So let me get this cut. All right, we got the mark here, we got the straight edge. We simply use this piece here, and we just went over here like that, rather than to get my square out. We're flushed right there, and we're perfect there. So we're going to cut this on the chop saw. We'll save this. We don't throw anything out. We don't need any 3/4 stock. The only time I'm using 3/4 is for the bottom of the radio only, the case. Everything else will be built out of the larger sheets of 1/4-inch Luan, which is what this stuff is here. No, Doug, I'm not building it out of cardboard. Hey, Doug, how you doing today? Oh, you doing good? I'm glad to hear that. All right, all seriousness now, let's get going on this here. We'll leave the line. Better to be too long than to be too short. Alright, I'm going to notch this out a little bit with the rat tail file on this side. Am I in camera? I can't even see this thing. Alright. I can't tell. I don't even know if it's in camera. I can't see anything but reflections in the viewfinder. Hopefully you can see that. I hope you can see that because I got a wicked reflection in the viewfinder here. Alright, so what we got here, and I put a mark on here because I'm always putting the wood in the wrong place because it's a smoother finish here than it is here. So it fits perfectly, the knobs turn perfectly, so that's what we're going to do. Now I didn't want to nail this, but if I can find a brad that's small enough that's not going to split the wood. That's a little big. These here might do it. Then again, it might be too short. Like that. I'd have to start these and the problem is if I just glue this, I gotta wait, and I can't wait. It's gonna rain tomorrow. I gotta work between raindrops. I've always told you that. Let's see, we got one. They're not finished nails. I got that's a lightweight hammer here. I want to start it. So you don't bend over the nail. Let's go down here with it. Got a pre-drill. I'll crack this wood for sure. I'm going to have to just hammer it in, and if it splits it, it splits it. That's all. If not, this is going to be a delayed project. That's a small nail. That's really not going to hold. Now let's use this nail to do the other side. You have to hold them with the pliers because they'll bend right over if not. I have to start it this way. So you don't see all this stuff when I'm building. This is how I do it with the finishing nails. You always hold the finishing nail midway so it don't bend over, because finishing nails will bend over every single time, even if I pre-drill. And I can't pre-drill because I don't have a 16th inch bit. So gently tap that through. That went through. Okay, good. It's through. Now I gotta drive it back out. Okay, so it's like that. I don't even know if I'm in camera. I really don't know. Alright. Maybe that would be alright then. Maybe that size nail will be okay. Let's try this one. cold day today. It is a cold day today. Damn lousy wind. If it wasn't for the wind, it wouldn't be bad at all. Watch, because I can't see which way that nail's going. You try to whack that too hard and it'll bend right over. And it'll look like hell. Okay, I think it's almost in. Got hammer dings on it, but you know, it's in there. Yeah. Best I can do. Because this way I can stop making the rest of it. Otherwise, I have to clamp this down and wait a day before it's, you know, sets up. And I don't like waiting. I like to get the things done. Weather up here, you know, it's not very good. To save you this silliness, I'll come back on the video a little bit. I got a lot of work to do on that. I'm trying to avoid bending it over. I'll say I envy you guys with the big garages and stuff. I got to use my table saw, and I don't feel like dragging it out. So I improvised a overhead light. It's only a 30-watt bulb. It gives me some light with my poor eyesight. I gotta stumble over this stuff here. I gotta cut out the side pieces, and I'll show you. First of all, this didn't come out too bad. A little dirt there from and grease and stuff from the and rust from the side cutters trying to cut that off. I couldn't get that nail in anymore, so now that's nailed down good and the knob's clear. What I got to do is make the sides, and I'm not gonna go from memory. I think it's 6 1/4 by 6 3/8. One here and one here. It'll be tacked and nailed into the edge. It should be easier to do this than trying to do this one. I want to put a side here, and I have decided to have a back that I can remove. I was originally going to make the case complete and slide off and leave the platform and the radio, but that's not going to happen because I would have to put screws in here to mount the cabinet sides and remove them, and I think it would work out a lot better if I have a side here, and a top going across here, and a removable back. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to have to cut this down. This is one of the pieces. This is the smaller piece of the Luan that I bought for the back of the Philips radio. So we got to cut this 6 1/4 inches wide by I think 6 3/8 high, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to go in and look at my notes in the shop. We got to do 2 pieces like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to rip it down on the table saw, and table saw is the only way to go with this. If you try to do it with a saber saw, I'll be all over the place with it. I don't know what happened to that 16th inch bit, but it's gone. It is gone. Completely vanished. That's the story of my life. Probably is on the ground somewhere. If it's down here, I'll never find it. wasn't recording that time. It's recording now. Alright, I got a mark on here. Let's put another light on here. Oh man, it's so hard to get around in this shit. Okay. Alright, we're cutting a hair over 6 1/4